In the spring of 1994, I excitedly made an appointment to see my doctor. This was a family doctor who I had seen for over 20 years. We had, I thought, an amazing relationship. I felt that he was a wonderful physician. Not only had he been my doctor, but my parents, my grandmother, and many friends throughout the years. Personally, he had seen me through teenage years, marriage, childbirth, divorce, death of my grandmother, single parent years, and now finally a new marriage. This person was more than my doctor. At times he had been my confidant and someone who I relied on for many things other than just my annual physical. So as I walked into his office, anticipating what this appointment was going to be like and what the conversation would be, you couldn't have removed the smile from my face or the spring from my step. I had already told him I was coming to see him because I had taken a home pregnancy test and I knew that I was pregnant. My husband Blaine was with me, as the one thing he had always wanted in his whole life was to be a dad. Wow, what an incredible moment this was. But I knew when we walked into the room that something was amiss. He wasted no time in small talk and got right down to the bottom line. Instead of telling me things like when to start taking prenatal vitamins and when the due date would be, he informed me that he had a date all right. He had made a date at a local hospital to terminate my pregnancy. Several weeks before, he had put me on a new medication, and when he gave me the medication, he asked me to do two things. One was to not drink alcohol, and the other was to not get pregnant. And I assured him that neither was a problem. Well, the alcohol wasn't a problem, but apparently the getting pregnant was a problem. He told us that there was no way to know if there would be a problem with the pregnancy, but why would we ever want to take the chance? Besides, he assured us, we now know we could get pregnant, and we deserved better than the possibility of having a child with a disability. Actually, I think the word he actually used at the time was problems, but really was telling us that we should not put ourselves through that. I was stunned. I absolutely didn't know what to say. I let him know at the moment that I was confused and I really needed to comprehend what he was saying. Realizing that I was upset, he suggested we meet again in 4 days. He assured me that I would come to my senses in that time and see it his way. Blaine and I left that appointment, and I remember getting to the car, not even in it, when I became unglued. I could not fathom what had just happened to us. I was absolutely devastated. I spent the next 4 days getting as much information as I could. Basically, the same warning was on this medication as was on a bottle of aspirin. Do not take unless the benefits outweigh the risks. Yet no one, not even the pharmaceutical company, could tell us what those risks might be or what even the percentage would be. When I returned to my doctor 4 days later, I informed him that I did not want to end my pregnancy. He told me in an extremely condescending manner, "It's clear to me that you have already bonded with this baby." At that point, he informed me that he did not support my decision and he would refer me to another doctor, and he refused to see me as a patient any longer. I walked out of his office, and to this day, I have never seen his face again. This was the beginning of the journey, and actually only the first week, in fact. I felt insulted that a physician would think it was a bad thing to have bonded with my baby. I was appalled that he felt he had the right to make an appointment to terminate my pregnancy without even consulting me. But mostly, I felt at peace because I knew in my heart I had made the right decision. We were excited to be pregnant. Within 3 weeks of leaving his office and finding a gynecologist, I started to have problems in the pregnancy. I started bleeding and contracting at week 10, and we were basically told that I was miscarrying the baby. I should go home and stay in bed. Other than 4 weeks of this pregnancy, I spent the whole time either in hospital or in bed rest at home. And we just kept being told that basically it was a matter of time. When I reached about week 18 of the pregnancy, I asked, because I had been doing lots of reading, because I had nothing else to do, to be given medication to stop the contractions, and the medical staff refused. They believed that this miscarriage, which had now been going on for 10 weeks, by the way, was nature's way. It was too early in the pregnancy, they said, to try anything to stop the contractions. Besides, if they gave me the medication, it would only work for a short time, and I wasn't nearly far enough along for it to make any significant difference. They never, not once, respected my wishes. I cried a lot, and I have to tell you, I never knew that I could experience such sadness. This is how it went, day in and day out, week in and week out. We were asked several times when they thought that Today was the day that I was going to miscarry if we wanted to see the fetus or not. They asked us if we wanted a funeral or not. It would be much easier for them if they knew in advance what our wishes were. So in my mind, I planned a funeral, many times in fact. I thought about what this loss was going to do to me and what it was going to do to Blaine. I was devastated. At about week 23 of the pregnancy, the conversation changed. Literally one day, my doctor walked into my hospital room and said, you know, if you miscarry this week, we might be able to save the baby. He told me he might be able to save the baby because there had been documented cases. So that day we changed our language from miscarriage to premature delivery. From that moment on, I prayed for survival. I didn't actually care what challenges lay ahead. I just knew that I wanted this baby to live. I again asked for medication to stop the contractions, and they absolutely refused. The medical world wanted to dictate the outcome of this pregnancy. The first day of week 26, I ran into significant difficulties. The doctors agreed that there was a better chance for the baby to survive, so on that day, they gave me medication to stop my contractions and gave me a steroid shot to try and improve the condition of the baby's lungs. All of these days and weeks, I had been laying there, and they waited until a crisis to start treating me, with what I had been asking for, actually, for weeks. Then they fought to keep me pregnant for another 24 hours for the steroids to work, because if you don't stay pregnant for 24 hours, the steroids actually have no impact on the baby's lungs. This is the very same medical team who just a few days before had refused to treat the contractions and asked me to plan my baby's funeral. We didn't make the 24 hours. Kyle was born at 26 weeks gestation. He was 1,000 grams at birth. And I do know that if the medical world had their way, both at the beginning of the pregnancy and during the pregnancy, Kyle would not be with us. And boy, would we in the world ever have missed out on something special. He is an amazing gift. Kyle has changed our life in so many ways. He has taught us what is truly important in life. Our values are different because of Kyle. We have more compassion and empathy, and we do not take things for granted as we did before. The most important person in Kyle's life is his big brother, Aaron. Everyone in our extended family has learned valuable lessons from Kyle. I believe Blaine and I are better parents because of Kyle. And we are blessed to live with someone who is truly happy to be on the planet. He is a person who demonstrates living life with a glass half full. And as my sister has said many times, if you're having a bad day, all you have to do is spend a little time with Kyle, because he'll make your heart sing.
Thank you, Gwen.